My spiritual friends telling me that I received negative dark coding in my system from somebody who is a false teacher, a false light. I went into a bit of a state of alarm. Part of me wasn't really agreeing to all of that because I wasn't raised Christian. I don't believe in the God and the devil battle. I don't believe in light versus dark battle. I think that there's a lot of gray. I think that people are complicated. I just don't live like that. And this is all a new concept to me because as a spiritual person, I really do like to see that everybody has a little bit of light in them, which I think they do. But in this case, I was in front of somebody who was giving me their magic code, who was not of the highest light, is what I would say. And so I had a question, and my only question was, what was the code that was put into my system that I willingly received? And what is the consciousness scale of that? So I contacted a friend who I know who uses a pendulum, and she does healing, SRT healing, spiritual response therapy, which is something I actually just recently learned about because of my new friend. And so I said, emergency spiritual meeting, please. I need healing. Can you tell me the consciousness scale of this individual healing event that I went to, the code that was put in me, and the upcoming training to take this healing modality on board? Can you do the consciousness scale and tell me what is going on? So we had a session, and everything that she found with her pendulum was validated from what my friends said. Very low on the consciousness scale. Just enough so that there's a bit of light to act as a guise. It is very much false light. That light and love message, nonsense. There is no love in that man, not to the point where you feel it in the way that you really should, if it's from God consciousness and from source. And so, and the training, low consciousness as well, 90% darkness, I would say, negativity is what I would say, which is low consciousness, low vibration, right? That you don't want that. And the code that was put in me too affected my third eye, my heart, my soul path. It was a program. See, we're biological computers, right? And people can actually put a little virus in your computer and you don't actually see it there, but it's doing things behind the scenes. That's what it was doing. It was very subtle. It didn't want to be seen, but it did enough so that it threw off my clarity. It threw off my heart-centered discernment, and it changed. I put a contract into my soul path, and so we removed it. But everyone in that healing room received that code, that frequency, that virus in their biological computer, and it was very difficult to figure out. But I knew something was weird and off and wrong. I didn't quite have that connection like I always do with my guidance. I knew that something was up. It was just so hard to come to accept that this was a possibility. But I got confirmation from various people in different ways that used the same languaging to describe what it was. And I am blown away because this spiritual teacher is very powerful. He does have power, intelligent, knows his stuff. But there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And if you ever have a little inclination that perhaps something's up, there is. So we are in that spiritual war that people talk about, where there's a battle between light and dark. In a way, I see it as a metaphor, but also in a way it's real. So Lightworkers are attracted and drawn to spiritual teachers because they so badly want to learn how to do this healing work, to heal humanity, to rise up the frequency, and to be part of this ascension process. But at the same time, we have that within ourselves. In truth, there is no person who has the magic key, the magic code that only they can give you. And if they're telling you that, they're a false teacher. And it's false light because you have it within you. Nobody can give it to you. And if they do have a special code that they got from a magical source, it wasn't from God, because we have it all inside of us anyway to begin with. And it's up to us individually to activate that. And so nobody has a special gift for you that you've been longing for. That's the alluring, misguided message that people fall into. And I did, because those people are lights, they're light workers, and they so badly want to be part of helping to heal humanity and bring on this new world that we're supposed to be in right now. And so this was my experience. And I wanted to share it here on my channel because I feel that we so easily fall into these traps. Even if we're spiritual, we have the highest intentions, we assume everyone is inherently good. And at the end of the day, it's purely not the case. We have to have our discernment up. And if you have that niggling feeling that won't quite leave you alone, it's not just fear trigger, and then you came over and then you're totally happy and comfortable. I was still uncomfortable. And I couldn't put my finger on it because my discernment and my intuition and clarity was off center because of the code, you see? So unfortunately, what this powerful spiritual teacher is doing is gathering his followers in real life and putting in code and program so that they want to take everything that he's teaching. And it goes deeper than that. The other things that are going on in that particular environment following that spiritual teacher that I didn't have my eye on because I don't have like a Christian background to have that context of, implants and demons. It's not something that I play with very often. But that's kind of what happened, is that there was a program that had a different frequency that didn't match mine that was derailing me, so that I would then just blindly follow. And let me tell you that certain people did blindly follow and are aware of what's happening, but can't change it because they're afraid of his power. And then there are those who are blindly following and worshiping and love it so much, thinking it's the one that will change the world, right? And so it's tricky. It shouldn't be like that. We should be doing it together as a collective, not with a person in the center saying, I have the answers for you, right? Anyways, please let me know what you learned from this experience. And if you have any questions, I really want people to feel empowered as light workers and to have their discernment and to know who they want to learn from, and why you want to learn from that person, because we're going to continue to run into this. I think it's prevalent where we are now that there very much is a takeover of our consciousness and of our divine sovereign rights to stand up as light workers and to bring in more higher frequency vibration into the planet. And there is an agenda, and it comes in those forms that it looks like it's a spiritual movement and it's all light and love, but it's not. It's not. So let's have discernment. Let's talk about discernment.